Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over, and we're back to hopefully our final episode of our in-depth playthrough of Stellaris Vanilla 4. Whatever version, no DLCs. That's what vanilla means. And I'm just running the clock at super fast. Let's go fastest speed here. So we just passed a very cool Senate rule that punishes all the horrible techno species in our galaxy, because we, of course, are spiritualists and do not believe in the demonic robotic forces, as we've dubbed them. Praise to the pyramid power. We are hoping to wrap up the game today. I might go 2 hours. I don't know. I said I would get this done in less than 1 year. That was our goal, because we started the first week of May when 4.0 dropped, right around there. And we're now at the end of April 2026. So this is it. It's been a long go. My goodness. If you have watched along with me for the last year, I thank you. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to win this game. That was a long wait to see a victory that ain't going to happen. So it is what it is. Here's some interesting late game stuff going on. Splitting the atom, or maybe this is mid game stuff. Physicists from the alien civilization of Monsoon 4 have managed to split the atom for the first time. With the discovery of nuclear fusion, nuclear weapons are inevitably being produced, and nuclear, not nuclear, holy cows, power plants are coming online. The Ethereum society has entered the critical phase where they suddenly possess the means to destroy their own world with the press of a button. Significant development, yes, indeed. Why is it that we get it in our heads, some of us, like me and I think President W. Bush, that it's nuclear instead of nuclear? I don't know. I think maybe because we're messing up with the nucleus of an atom, and then we're like taking those two words and like making a portmanteau. Is that what, like, we're cramming them together? All right. Nuclear escalation on Monsoon 4. Tensions are brewing on Monsoon 4, because how many times am I going to have to say this word? Nuclear war looms. If we do nothing, they will destroy themselves. We are their only hope. Covert, infiltrate, and de-escalate. There's no further need for espionage. Having speech impediments is fun. It is so fun. Geez, what do we want to... Let's do the covert infiltration. It's just... we'll get to do more stuff. Whatever. All right, we have research pop up, but I just wonder if it gave us a situation. It did not. I'm guessing that in a month or two, it'll pop up with something like, hey, our agents got captured. You have to go rescue them with troop transport or something. We're going to find out. But for the time being, we have new technology. So this was the powered exoskeletons. We didn't really care about the army damage, but we cared about the worker pop resource output. Again, that's going to be our energy workers, our miners, and our farmers. So right there, 5% bonus. This would unlock avenues into robotics, but we wouldn't pursue it further as spiritualists, pacifists. We just didn't really care about that. Wearing a powered exoskeleton suit augments the user's strength and speed. The military applications are obvious, but it will also increase labor efficiency. New research, please. At this point, basic strivecraft, very basic technology. Geothermal fracking could get us extra minerals if we wanted it, but we're sitting really good with extra minerals, so we'll pass on that. Afterburners, that is obviously an auxiliary slot, would give us higher evasion chances on our ships. If you slot that into the auxiliary slot, replicator kiosks, that could be useful. Now, this is going to essentially yield, for a building, artisan jobs plus 600. So remember, it's going to go the first level of the building will 200, the second level 300, 600, 800. I don't know how high it goes. I think 8's the highest I've seen. But sure, we could cram more artisans onto our factory planets. And if you recall, just I think last episode, we were having issues with our consumer goods. Bear in mind, those do take space nuts. So we would want to make sure that we have a surplus. And yeah, we're sitting pretty good. All of our strategic resources are well into the positive for the time being. Otherwise, crystal infused plating, we kind of passed on crystal infused plating. So I am going to take the replicator kiosk just because overall at this stage of the game, that is one of the few resources we're still kind of struggling with. Because those feed into all the other high-end things that we make. So, not that we make very much research, because we don't. I was looking at our fleets down here. We want to go do some upgrades. Yeah, let's just click on all these real quick. These are some Federation ships. Bear in mind, we're going to lose control of these Federation ships pretty shortly. I'm just going through all these. I would like to pull some of these little baby fleets together, though, real quick. Hold on a second. Where are these guys at? Let's, yeah, here we go. So you can see we have a stack of individual ships. Again, I think maybe the Talacurans made these one at a time, possibly because we never queue up ships individually. We will usually stack 3, 4, 5 bills at once. They'll go into the same fleet. But the computer AI Talacurans, at least with their Federation ships, don't seem to do that. They build them singularly. I don't know why that is, but that'll just make that a little more manageable. And the Solar Reavers, I don't... Yeah, there they are. And who is this here? Okay, there we go. We had plenty of alloy, over 33k. We don't really have a way to spend it at this point because we're coming up snug against our naval capacity. I think the only other thing we could really do with alloy at this point would be to go to all of our star bases and shipyards and fill up their defensive platform slots, which we could do. You have to be a little bit careful with that, though, and the reason is, let's jump to, so Dwumgar Station looks like we have already done all of their defensive platforms. So this is actually kind of useful. Presuming that Dwumgar and Isius are similar, let's just take a quick look. Now, Dwumgar does have gun batteries, but everything we add to a station takes energy upkeep. If we look at the gun battery here, its base upkeep is 1 energy. Now, we have a little bit of reduction because of Galactic Ambitions and Minister of Defense, but in general, you get it. So let's jump to the defensive tab. And if we look at each one of these platforms, are you going to let me see the platform? No. Okay, hold on. Let's jump into the actual system. We will zoom in on the station, and if we mouse over the physical icon of the defensive platform where it exists in space, we can see that the maintenance, the upkeep is 2.67 and 0.51 alloy. And I'm guessing that maybe that energy upkeep moves up as we get better weapons and systems. I can see the ship modifiers there. There's a stack of them. There's a lot of them. Actually kind of cool to see that. But yeah, every one of these, let's see, yes. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that every one of the defensive platforms that we mouse on gets this upkeep cost. It's not like it's just, there's like, 9 or 10 of them sitting here floating around. It's not a generic, all of them together. It's each one over and over, 2.67, 2.67. So I think that's the case, meaning that like all the defensive platforms are unique because I know they can be damaged uniquely, right? So like this platform here can be destroyed outright, and it can have half the hit point, and this one can have a third of the armor in a combat. They're getting damaged uniquely. So we have no reason to believe, based off of how we see Stellaris work, that this pop-up represents all the platforms collectively. There's nothing in Stellaris that works that way. So yeah, they're all individual. I'm actually shocked. I've never paid that close of attention, but like that's really expensive. 2.67 energy and a half of alloy is really expensive per platform. And if we are looking at our star bases and we're going, yeah, each star base can have, we'll say, 9, 10 defensive platforms right now, and we wanted to load up 10 star bases with 10 defensive platforms, that's 100 of them thereabouts, and at 2.5 energy apiece, 250 energy and 50 alloy a month. That's really expensive. So we could break our piggy bank right now. We could hose our surplus, at least on energy, and severely cut in if we were to build all those. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. Now, the only places where it would make sense would be at Dwumgar and at Edelmar, because those are our defensive borders, and potentially down here at Castor, because Castor represents the barricade into the northeastern branch of our galactic civilization. Obviously, Helios is kind of floating out here on its own, but it's not defensive. Why isn't it defensive? Because you can get at it from the south, and you can bypass it from Adrenal up to Dwellwar and just simply go around Helios. So it's not actually a bulwark. They don't have to go through it if they don't want to. And yeah, we got rid of the Ditchram station already, so we don't even have a southern defense. Our fleet down here, the Raspy Rapscallions, represents a very weak defensive barrier. Not even. I guess our main fleets are back getting repaired right now. So yeah, at any rate, so I only brought all that up to show you that we could dump, probably 10,000 alloy into building 100 defensive platforms, but it would really jack up our energy costs. So I always build those things up slowly over time. I would say more as you need them, because you can really hose yourself up. That being said, let's just make sure that, well, we know Dwumgar and Edelmar have all of their defensive platforms, and we can upgrade these. Sure. Let's go to let's go to Dwumgar, upgrade those. And it's costing us about 75 alloy to upgrade all 11 platforms. And does anyone else have? I'm actually surprised it didn't show like an upgrade arrow there on the shipyard or the station showing that you had defensive platforms that needed upgrading. I can't remember if that was something that used to exist in the game, but Paradox, if you're watching, give us that upgrade arrow. That would be useful. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure none of the rest of these have any useful defensive platforms, but let's do Castor just for the heck of it. So let's jump in here and let's build them. And you see they're coming at 350 alloy a pop, 2 months each. We're going to do 9 of these. All right, so that's the full queue of 9. It's going to build them out. And let's see if we can remember to pay a little bit of attention. At 9 of them times 2.5, that's going to come out to about 22 or 23 energy. I know it'll be hard to track, but we'll see if that drops as we go. Here we go. First satellite. Our long-range tracking systems have detected the first launch of an artificial satellite from the surface of Monsoon 4. It successfully achieved orbit and marks the start of a budding space program initiated by the planet's alien civilization. After taking these first tentative steps into space, we can expect them to send manned missions and eventually interplanetary expeditions. They are on the verge of space travel. So we saved them from annihilating themselves nuclearly. Yes.
Ships upgraded.
We're the good guys. Life form encountered. Yeah, that's one of those stinking amoebas floating around out here. We can't kill them all. We try, but we can't kill them all. Send us down session. I'm going to pause there real quick. Sam and Mary got Unchained Knowledge? Where's Mary? I really wish those popped up, those trait things. You could click on them and get to the leader, but it just doesn't seem to work. Okay. Oh my gosh, hold on. What is her name? Salen Mary. Leaders. Who is Salen Mary? Right here. Unchained Knowledge. Oh. Galactic Community Emissary effects. Voting strength on Unchained Knowledge is a resolution plus 100%. Okay. We are in session right now, so let's just take a quick look. Senate in session for the next however long that is. Is that 5 years? Something like that. It's a long session. And currently, at the top of the list is minor military sanctions. This says that empires that have been denounced are in breach of galactic law have penalties applied to them. Interesting. I don't really want to go with that personally. I would like the galactic community to have as little influence over us as possible, and I don't really care to sanction other civilizations. So I would say I would vote that down. I don't think there's any benefit to us having that. So let's just oppose it. And then out of these two, at this point, we're opposing all three. The Guardian's Angel Act is diplomatic weight for military fleet is turned down, and repeal the 5-year plan. No, we like the diplomatic weight from Pops because we in the worker happiness. So, yeah, we're downvoting all those. We will see what happens with this. If we go to the Senate floor, we're actually currently voting on the enemy of my enemy is currently what's on the Senate floor. And if we look at that, it is diplomatic weight from fleet power plus 60%, naval cap plus 30%. That's huge. Ship upkeep plus 15%. So we have to be a little bit careful because it's a big jump in naval upkeep. And we've got a good sized navy. We'll manage it. Anyway, for the time being, we are pro. Yes, we are voting for it. It looks like there's no way that other Xenos can oppose it. I think it's going to pass regardless of what they try to do. So we're going to call that good. We'll run that clock forward. We're just watching the years zip by here. Now, it looks like the Zabrian protectors are doing nothing, of course, nor would they. Although there seem to be some Xenos moving through their space as neutral entities. They don't care. I think they have their borders closed off to everyone else, though.
Ships upgraded.
One little interesting late game thing to take a peek at. A couple things going on. Interesting late game thing to take a look at is something like the Barband system here. It is unsurveyed by us, but it's also unoccupied. I'm not sure exactly why that is. If there's maybe Xenos, space fauna there, like a space crystal or something, Tianki, whatever. That's probably the case for Gianfar right here. Like, why else have these Confederacy, the Ur-Ithans, not taken that system? There's probably space fauna. However, that is not the case with this Barband system. No one's gotten into there because it's completely walled off behind Zabrian space. Why am I bringing this up? Because in the mid-game, when you've explored all the systems out there that you can reach, you may find a cut-off system like that could be useful to you, and you could potentially colonize it by jumping in using a sublight, not a sublight. That doesn't make any sense. An FTL jump, I guess. Right? Is that the word for it? Hold on. Let's go to our fleets. Let's find a science ship right here. Initiate a jump. If you could get your science ship close enough to within their jump radius of that spot, you could theoretically jump in. It's even possible, not 100% sure, that a ship like ours, here we have the ISS Atlante, that we could take it through the wormhole, the natural wormhole. We could pop into Zabrian space here at Igu Waiki, and then they're going to bounce us out of there very, very quickly. I don't know how many days it takes for the science ship to realize they've messed up. They're now in Zabrian space. They have to get the F out of there. Because when we went through the wormhole, they just came right back. They're like, whoa. But they did go there. What if we jumped in, and in that first day, like we ran the clock at slow and we waited till they popped out of the wormhole here, and then we initiated a subspace jump to the Barband system? Could we do that? And then survey it? Can you send a construction ship with a jump? Quite possibly. Do we have the ability to initiate subspace jumps? No, I don't think we do, because yeah, we don't, because we don't have the technology. All ships in the fleet must be equipped with jump drives to perform this order. So because we're Luddites and we never went after technology, we didn't do that. But that would be like a play you could do. In like, what if you could build a starbase there that had a shipyard, and then you could make fleets and then jump the fleets out of Barband to Bayou and these other systems to raid or invade, or jump from Barband into this system here, this unknown system, take out whatever space fauna is there, or research or whatever, and spread your influence. That is definitely a possibility. We can't do it, though. But for you, it might be a possibility. All right, what else do we have going on here? New trait, Rudig the second. Got the recruiter trait, more fleets upgraded. Yeah, and check this out. Our energy credits are dropping steadily. Again, probably from our defensive. Well, I guess it's just coming in under star bases here, I think. Maybe defense platforms are considered stations. Let's watch this. 95-85. We'll try and jump back there in just a month. But otherwise, before we get to that, council agenda ready. What do we end up developing here? A higher purpose is going to go citizen happiness plus 5. And it's going to push our spiritual ethics attractions from 10% to 40%. And it's going to give us a one-time massive payout when we launch the effect of 50 unity per 100 priests. It's a mass juicing, folks. Yes. It's what we've all been waiting for. We're going to get 3,500 unity for that, which is almost nothing. Oh my god, we have so much unity. Wow, yeah, we're going to launch it. There you go. And do we have any other waiting in the wings? Yes, infinite opportunities, which would just yield more citizen happiness, compounding with the higher purpose. Yeah, that's great. Let's do that. So it's our new thing we're working on. So what do we do with the unity? Remember, we had been ascending. Okay, hold on. Let's roll up here. Oh, belt manglers need repairs. Get them repaired because they've been killing Xenos. Space fauna. Who do we want to ascend, folks? Let's jump to our management. We have multiple tiers. So one thing to consider is that empire size reduction from pops is most effective on your most populous worlds. And if we cycle through, let's just watch this number here. We have the 8K. So it looks like all of our secondary systems are in the mid-range there, 3K, 4K. Some of the newer ones are less than 1K still. So big gains to be had. But here as well, Wegmore is at 6.3. They're actually growing pretty fast, and they're not ascended at all. So that'll give me the 6% reduction on empire size. It's going to cost us only 12,000 unity. Sweet. Yes. Okay. Wow. We have a lot of unity. And then the designation bonuses climb as well. We're at 31% at tier 1. That's the designation boost. Let's jump back over to Fula, who's an Ascension 2. Fula, and it's at a 62% designation bonus. I presume that would climb to a 93 at Ascension 3. That's getting significant. And our designation bonus as Empire Capital. Governing ethics attraction is massive. Resources from jobs is 24.3%. Housing amenities. Let's push that up, right? I just want to see if all these are going to jump here. So 8. I'm looking at stability real quick. I'm just trying to lock the numbers in my brain here. 8, 1600. 24 on the resources from jobs. So let's jump in here. Let's ascend for 1400 or 14K. No big deal. Pop that off. Yes. We're tier 3. You can see the bonuses. Empire size reduction. Let's jump back. Let's mouse over here again. Stability did climb. Amenities climbed. Housing climbed. Resources from jobs climbed. Yeah. Wow, that's huge. How high can we ascend? We have a ton of unity. Listen, this is our most populous world, and for all intents and purposes, it probably produces the most overall mix because we have archives and mixed industry. It kind of does a little bit of everything for us. Let's push it up. Let's just go for it. What else are we doing here? Come on. All right, so tier 4, yes. Tier 5, 18,000. Yes. Can we keep going? Oh my gosh. We can't because what? Maximum ascension tier is tier 5. Gain more ascension perks to increase the maximum. Okay. So we would gain additional potential. I don't really honestly know. I'm guessing that if you were playing the non-vanilla, the DLC version of the game, you would have access to many more traditions. There's 30 traditions now. We're playing with I don't know, 9, 10 traditions, but it's possible you could go above tier 5 with that. But, maybe there's a technology that could get you another ascension tier, whatever. But yeah, there you go. Tier 5 maxes it out, but that is insane. Empire size reduction to the population is negative 31%. Designation bonus is 156. And the Empire Capital in particular is the kind of the best overall designation. Your Empire Capital, by the way, does have a list of specialized forge capital, factory capital, trade capital, capital extraction world, which would be for what, just regular jobs? The automatic resettlement destination chance plus 10%. Whatever. Trade capital, just letting you guys see that. Trade jobs, resources from all jobs, I guess. It's not that much difference. Resources produced from artisans plus 15%. Forge capital. Okay. And then we are just the Empire Capital. It's just the general one. So resources from jobs plus 10%, resources from jobs plus 5%. So the Empire Capital designation gives you that the first resources from jobs plus 10% on top of the blanket resources from jobs 5% that all the others get. So you're always going to get a little bit of a bonus. But yeah, it's a good generalist kind of thing. In this case, it's massive, plus 38%. However, we have more Unity to spend, so let's just jump through. Let's take everything to tier 1. Any world that's above, we'll say 3K on population. There'd be no point to ascending a small colony. But for these moderate-sized colonies, let's just jump in. We'll hit them all real quick. Wegmore's already ascended. Jorel War, yeah, we'll get them. What the heck? We got plenty of Unity, although we're going to probably run out here any moment. That'll do it. We're now to 9K. So listen, we've shaved a good amount off of our empire size. Obviously, the vast majority of our empire size 400 is coming from pops, sitting at 244.2. So a huge chunk. But yeah, and that drives down our technology costs and our tradition adoption costs. But at this point of the game, what are you going to do? So listen, we spent our Unity. Is there a lot else we can spend? We're building up our influence again and our energy. And if you recall, we have been working on the Mastery of Nature. Now, this symbol right here is the Mastery of Nature special icon. So you can easily cycle through your colonies, seeing which ones have already done Mastery of Nature. You can only do it once, but it yields 2 extra districts and max resource districts plus 50%. Don't honestly know what that means. Down here, resource districts. I'm guessing, or is that specialty? Some worlds have specialty resource districts, which would be this one right here. Rare planetary features? Doesn't really say that. That's not what that says. Yeah, I don't exactly know. Here we go. Here's an example right there. Max generated districts plus 3. This is the Dust Caverns. Produces 100 volatile motes per 100 technicians. Sure. But yeah, surprisingly, I guess max resource districts, I guess it just adds 50% to these. I'm just not clear on what that terminology means. I've never really paid attention to it that much. But maybe we can figure it out by finding a world that we have not done Mastery of Nature on yet. We've done most of them. Right on. Here we go. Uproth. We haven't done it yet. So I'm going to write this down real quick just so I can help us out. I'm looking at Uproth. We are looking at the generator districts currently. We're going to just do a 10/2/4. All right. And we're going to click Decision Tree. We're going to go to Mastery of Nature. We're going to spend the energy, the influence, and in 1 year, we can remember we want to come back to Uproth and see if these have increased by 50%. So that would go to 15, that would go to 3, that would go to 6. Question? Because otherwise I don't really know what that means. Here we are, Koronagi. We're not going to write down Koronagi. We're just going to effectuate the Master of Nature process. Ira Free. Do we need to do this now? No, but we're just spending resources we have. Got a little more energy. Can we do any more of these? Yeah, Helios. Ooh, we're getting tight on our energy. I'm going to go for it, though. I want to get them all done. That's it. That's all of our colonies. So these 4 colonies down here are going to work on that. Let's run that clock forward. I know I've been gabbing a lot. And remember, they're building more defensive platforms. We were at, like, what, 85, 95 for the stations and the star bases. I'm letting a few months roll by because those defensive platforms should be rolling out. And let's pause again. And let's jump up here to our energy costs. And let's jump in. Stations, star bases. Oh, that hasn't really nudged. Maybe we'd already built all our defensive platforms. Let's roll down. Belt manglers. Why are they always damaged? What's going on with the belt manglers? I'm not sure who they're tangling with out there. Let's jump down to a different station. We want to build some defensive stations at. I mean, I'm being a little crazy with the defensive stations, but I'm just trying to do some. Let's go to Thew Station A. Ooh, they're building something. Shipyard. Oh, they're upgrading. I don't want to mess with them. I want to go to a station that doesn't have anything else. Elysia. Here we go. Okay. Defensive platforms. Let's load up the queue here. We're going to give them all 9. Boom. And I just want to see which of these numbers increases. So we'll just mouse over and let's run the clock. I wonder if this will update in real time while we have it held open with the mouse. So essentially defensive stations should be getting produced. I don't see it refreshing. Let's exit out. I see 95 and 83. Buildings are 255. We'll mouse out. We'll mouse back in. Yeah, it's not changing. Ships, 333. Hold on, let's go back in. 323. Oh, they went in the wrong direction. Districts, armies, jobs, edicts. You know, this is so weird. I'm not sure where the energy cost is. Well, I see the ships climbing, but we're doing repairs on ships. Hold on, what do we got? Rivalry ended. Favor gained if the repair is completed. Idle leader. I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, what I'm trying to do essentially is as we are developing these defensive platforms that are being built, I'm trying to see where their energy upkeep and alloy upkeep costs are represented under our energy here. So let's keep running that. We can see the defensive platform finishing. So it's at 331, 334. Yeah, okay, so I guess it's considered a building? I just don't, no, not a building, a ship. I think defensive platforms are categorized as ships. Now, why I may be wrong on that is because we were doing repairs. So if we look at our Thew station was doing all the ship upgrades. So it's possible as they were adding, more modern components, they had higher energy upkeeps. How about this? We've finished all of our ship repairs. We're going to try this one more time. Yes, all of our fleets are updated. No more repairs, no more upgrades. Let's choose another station one more time here, folks. So sorry. Oridetis. Crap. Oh, that's cool. That's actually cool. You can see the defensive platform makeup. Oh, can you modify defensive platforms yourself? You get to edit them? Huh. Yeah, I guess that's always been the case. You can modify, you can make your own stations. That's really cool. Changing their armor profiles, their auxiliary slot stuff. That's cool. But yeah, let's go to Oridetis. I'm hitting design. My bad, guys. It's too early in the morning here. A little coffee. Okay. We're not effing with any ships. None of our ships are doing anything or changing. We're going to run the clock. We're going to watch this. Ships 336. We'll mouse off. We'll go back. Yeah, you can see the platforms being built right there. Yeah, it's a ship. It's the only number that's changing. And it is steadily climbing as our platforms are completed. Yeah, and it looks like even before the defensive platform meter passes the line, it looks like it clicks up at the first of the month, even if the defensive platform's not finished yet. I'm watching that ship number go up even before the defensive platform is finished in some cases, like right there, when it hits the first of the month. That's interesting. either it's trailing behind and it's you're paying for the defensive platform once it completes. I think that's what's happening. I don't think it's charging you for the defensive platform while it's still in production. I think it's always kind of trailing like half a cycle behind where the month clicks over. But your defensive platforms, I'm almost certain now that we've proven that they are counted under your ship cost. So there you go. Hold on, what's this? Vote for Federation law. The Space Friends Club voted to change them to medium fleet contributions succeeded. Okay. Is it never asking us? What the hell's going on? So one thing that's confused me a little bit about being in the Space Friends Club is that whenever we have a Galactic Senate thing going on, it's telling us that we're in recess or, we're in session, whatever. Gives us time. But several times throughout the game playthrough here, the Talacurans have proposed a change to Federation law, and I haven't noticed. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to the icon. Maybe it has been telling me. I'm sure we can go back and watch the videos. But I always notice that something has been voted for, that it's passed. It's succeeded. And I'm just like, well, when did you ask us? It's like, oh, you weren't paying attention there, guy. Sorry. And apparently you don't need a unanimous decision. What happened here is that the Talacurans voted for a change to medium fleet contributions, and we did nothing. We never decided one way or another. To me, that looks like we are ambivalent. They abstained. We abstained. So I guess a 50% vote with an abstention is enough, because it is theoretically more. A vote of 1 and a vote of nothing. 1 is more than. That is the majority, I guess. Okay. Now we have a medium fleet contribution. That's cool. If we jump into our Federation, we should be able to jump to the fleet. And we have a lot of headroom on the fleet right there. We're only at about half power, which is fine. No big deal. And pretty shortly here, the Talacurans have already taken over control again. They're the president right now. Maybe that's why it passed. They're not even asking permission. We're well on our way, though. We're cruising to a level 5 Federation. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole lot else to talk about here, folks. Peace offer. Hold on. I think we just talked about everything there is to talk about in the game. Stuff to look at. All of our little upgrades went through. Oh, let's take a look at Uproth. So Uproth finished its Master of Nature. And we had said Uproth was at a 10-2-4 for its basic districts. We are now we went from 10 to 14, a 2 to a 3, and a 4 to a 5. Is that 50% more max resource districts? You know what? I keep messing up the percentages. As ultimately, you start out at 100% is all of yours. So you're going to 150. So it's like, I want to say 1/3 more, but it's going to be, you're starting with 2/3 and you're going to go to 1/3. Is what a 50% would change from 100% to 150% represents. So the mining districts worked perfectly. We went from 2 to 3. That's a 50% increase. However, and we nearly got it with the generator district. We went from 10 to 14. That's 40% more. But the farming districts, that didn't work. We went from a 4 to a 5. So definitely Master of Nature increases the number of districts available, but I just don't quite get what the max resource districts is. The only thing I can think is that some of these districts that we have available to us are coming from some special type of planetary feature. I'm not going to overthink it. Just know that when you click on Master of Nature that it gives you the additional 2 max districts overall, but it does seem to significantly push up the number of resource districts available. Because gaining 2 here, we didn't go from 10 to 12 because we gained 2 max. We went from 10 to 14, so it was a significant increase. I just don't know why it's not 15. Why it's 14 instead of 15. I don't know. It's not clear to me at all. And the same with the agricultural. Why we went from 4 to 5. That doesn't seem to make any sense, but is what it did. So, Mastery of Nature is a good one. It is a good one. For the mid-game, if you can take that as one of your Ascension perks, grab it. And it's a good mid to late game way to improve your colonies, especially when they're well developed like Fula. Look, there's 2 extra districts right now. That being said, now that we can build more on Fula, what should we build? Well, we just look across here real quickly. Are we really short on anything? Not particular. We're doing really well on all this. We would get a big chunk if we got extra energy districts. Let's just look really quickly. What would this get us? From district specialization, just an extra 100 technical jobs. That's not that good. How about here? What if we did another city district? We get 2 more at this point. District specialization, we get the physicist jobs. Yeah, we get all those. It would cut into our housing a little bit. We have 8K housing, so sure. Let's click off 2 of those real quick. We got plenty of minerals. Are there any other colonies that are fully developed? Not really, folks. We're playing such a truncated game, we never even maxed all these out. But here we can do some basic forge improvements. Let's look across here. We're just going to make more jobs kind of everywhere at this point. We'll do like 1 more district on every one of these worlds just to push them forward. Wait. No, we're nearly maxed on Shroidum. They are a farming world in particular, though, so real quickly. From district specializations, trader jobs plus 100, resource produced from farmers plus 40%. Yeah, we've already got a lot of farming districts. So if we jump in here, 1 more district in agriculture would get us 200 more farming jobs, 200 more housing if we click this. But if we click this city district, it will yield 100 more trader jobs and an additional resource produced from farmers of plus 40%, pushing it to a lot, like 240%, I think. So probably the better way to go. You can see here we've already got 1,200 farmer jobs. So yeah, going an extra 200 on top of 1,200 is roughly, it's 1/6, so like 18% more food if we make 200 more farmer jobs by clicking a farming district. We talked about it a little bit in a recent episode. But no, if we jump up here, we make 1 more city district, which I just did. It's going to push all of those 1,200 farmers we already have. Instead of there being 1,400, it'll still be 1,200, but they'll be 40% more efficient versus 18% more farmers. So you can see it's over twice as good to make that city district with 2 categories of farming support, 2 specializations of farming support. So yeah, that's going to push us up 80% total more food output from the same number of farmers. You're doing more with less because it's a multiplier, not a linear addition, not a stair step adding. We're multiplying. You guys get it. Let's keep going. And what do we got going on here? Spiritual Enclave. Any special buildings we can do in our Spiritual Enclave to help them out? Yeah, not really. We don't really have any significant spiritualist buildings. We throw a temple in there, and then let's build one of those things. You know what they are. Oh, we could do a specialization here. I'm overthinking it. There's so much development stuff we never really got into. Let's build a couple city districts. Just giving everyone something to do. Let's get our capital building in there. Build a couple more city districts. And we're just developing forward. We're only going to grow so fast. This actually would be a very good place to put extra strategic resource building. So if we look up here, this thing we're shortest on right now is volatile moat. Sure, let's jump into this building. Let's put a chemical plant there. There you go, and we'll build a city district. I believe that gives all of our colonies, Isius, here we go, a couple more mining districts, city districts. That's the same multiplier thing. 40% more minerals from our miners, so huge gains there. These are our miners. We have 1,400 of them. So those 1,400 will make more with less. You may sit here and wonder, well, if you've got 12k minerals, why don't you just fill up all these? Just build, Mark. Just load up all these districts, get all these building slots. It's because if you don't have the workers to fill those jobs, you will have to pay the upkeep on all those buildings. Now, to be fair, let's do one more thing while we're just sitting here messing around. Let's jump back to Fula. How many civilians do we have everywhere? Let's watch this number down at the bottom. Civilian, 1.2k. Jump over. You can't see it every time. 1.9K. Holy cows. 1.5. So, in a sense, actually, we have a lot of civilians on all of our worlds. So we need a lot more jobs. So, in fact, well, just let it run. Let it run, folks. Because we're playing the shortened game, we're at 2328. We've been playing for essentially 130 years. But a full game is 300 years. The standard game is 300 years. So very easily, during this mid-game section from 2300 to 2400, you would be very carefully growing your colonies, building districts, balancing, doing calculations, choosing the buildings you want. And eventually, all of your colonies will fill every building slot. You'll use every available district. They'll all hit up to 10,000, 12,000 population, whatever. And there'll be nothing else you can do with them. We're being very loosey-goosey just because the game's going to end. We're already well ahead. I guess it doesn't hurt to run up all these numbers in a sense. Additional favors gained. Council agenda available. We come in peace. Oh, wow. We don't want to mess with that, though, because it hits our naval cap, minus 25%. We're not effing with that one. And resource storage full. Yeah, those are our alloys. Can we sell alloys? Yeah. Let's jump into here. Sell alloy. Sell five a month, sure. And we could buy some dark matter. We have enough trade. Let's buy a single Zro, and let's buy a single dark matter. Whenever you have access to these through the market, these rare ones, living metals, Zro, there's nanites, there's dark matter. Definitely buy a single one if you can. Are nanites on here? No nanites. Reason is that we don't actually have access to Zro from any of our systems that we control, but it's available on the galactic market. So start buying them, start hoarding them. You probably will never need them, but if you have the extra overhead in trade, yeah, you might as well just buy one per month and have some in the piggy bank. You never know what could happen. Let's run that forward. Let's keep an eye on our trade really quickly. Yeah, we went to a -5. We could modify that a little more. Let's jump back into the market. We're selling a good number of things here. Maybe we could sell off a little bit of exotic gases. Sure, let's offset that. We'll go sell exotic gases. We'll sell one of those. And let's sell one... Oh, no. There we go. We've already got the exotic gas. We've already got the volatile mote. And we don't have the rare crystal. Hold on. Sell rare crystal 1. So we're either buying or selling one or the other. If we have none, we buy one. If we have a surplus, we sell one. That should push our trade into the proper range here. But real quickly, we missed a research. Edict funds plus 20, base intel level plus 10, network dominance. This is the edict. Yeah, let's jump into there real quickly. We'll take a look at it. We're going to turn on that edict in a moment. But otherwise, let's choose a new research for society. Fleet Academy is pretty useful because, well, not Fleet Academy in particular, but the naval logistics offices. If you had a surplus of star bases and you were at your naval cap, but you really wanted to go to war, you would get access to the naval logistics offices. It is a starbase building that you can put in on your star bases that'll give you +2 naval capacity per building you do. And you can imagine on some of our larger star bases, you have up to 4 buildings on the biggest ones. They could all be these naval logistics offices. So this could yield you a +8 or something like that. Oh no, you can only have 1 building each. I take that back. It's +2 per anchorage. So an anchorage yields a +4 naval cap. In that structure, anchorages +2 naval cap. Yeah, that's right. So that's per each one, though. So if we had 4 anchorages in here, having the logistics office would be +2 per anchorage. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 potentially. additional. So each one would yield 4 already. So you could essentially go 4, 8, 16, 20, 24. Oh, wow, I'm having a sharp... No, you could get 24 total here, plus the Logistics Naval Office would take it to 36. Each one of your most maxified star fortresses or whatever could give you 36 extra naval cap if you did the Naval Logistics Office and you did full 6 anchorages. That's what I was trying to say. So, yeah, 24 plus 12 is 36. That's a huge chunk. Even 1 or 2 star holds... or star fortresses, sorry, the big ones where you had access to all this. 36 plus 36 would represent a full third, a quarter to a third of our naval cap, but just a couple of those maxed out that way. Now, the trick is you're giving up economic production to have more naval capacity, but it's a good way to build up your navy. And depending on some of your Ascension picks in here, there's one that yields, I think, an additional 5 star bases, regardless of the size of your empire, which in most cases is a pretty good chunk. We're at 9 with, this mid-point of the game, but that would be over 50% increase in our star bases, and then you could make every single one of those anchorages and naval logistics offices. 5 times 36 would yield 160 extra naval cap, which would be a massive increase to that number. It's like a 40% increase. You could have a lot more massive navy. So things to consider. I'm only pointing out that if you're going to go for war, you would want to take this earlier in the game. Not too early, because you have to be able to support the star bases and have the alloys to feed them. But at this point, we have all the alloys in the world. So if we could get to the Star Fortress, we would want to take this. We'd go down that rabbit hole. Xenobiology lab, blockers, farming subsidies. Yeah, let's grab the blocker. Yeah, there we go. Run the clock. I want to watch the trade real quick. I'm hoping. Yeah, there we go. We just popped it back into the positive. Additional favors gained. All of our colonies have completed the projects we had them working on. Now, you'll notice, because we did a full round of about 2 improvements per 2 times 10, we added about 20 districts or buildings to our empire in just the last 2 years, right? Clock was running fast, but look what it did to our energy. Hammered our piggy bank. No problem. No, we could do a whole nother round, but it's probably going to dump us a negative 40, negative 50 on our energy. We'd really hit into our surplus. We don't have that much. We got 10K in the piggy bank. So what do you do before you do a whole nother round of development across all of your colonies? You go to your energy worlds. You build them up first. You get more electrical engineer jobs. Is that what a technicians? I can never remember the word. So we can't get technicians here. Who else is our technician world? It's like Isius or something. Let's scroll through. Here we go. Generator districts. Boom. Let's do 2 more districts. And we could rip out these archives and put in another generator support district. Let's do that. So we will switch that out here. And what we're doing is we're pre-positioning. And actually, we're going to move the generator support district up to the top of the queue. It'll be that 20% will be more valuable per city district. We are preparing to take the energy upkeep load of maxing out all of our colonies, because we're at that stage of the game where we're not really limited anymore by energy, by minerals. We can just do it. Any other colonies that generate electricity, energy for us, not electricity? No, doesn't look like it. Although I did see a couple of buildings that need some improvements. I'm not going to go too crazy. The little baby one there. Yeah, get those 2 done. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So I didn't load up everything, but yes, I want to make sure our energy is pushing up there again. So let's run this for a couple of years, and we should see this jump up pretty considerably once that energy specialization district is done. With new technology. Advanced shields, yeah, this is just a higher level of shields. Nothing wrong with that. We'll have to go back into our fleets, get all those upgraded. Anything else we want to grab right now? Production from... Yeah, we could go to quantum field manipulation. That's level 4 energy. Gets us the planetary nexus building, which allows us to support a lot more generator districts on a planet. Otherwise, anything else we want? Code breaking. Now let's do it. Let's grab the level 4 energy, just because we know we need a huge amount of energy to support fully developed colonies. It's expensive. You got to have a ton of energy. You need a ton of alloy. You want a ton of research for normal games, and you need a boat ton of energy. Interestingly, although our population is getting pretty grand, only having one agricultural world seems to be more than enough food production. So you should never need more than about one farming world. I mean, maybe if you had like 20 colonies, you'd max it out or something. I'm sure some people have done the math better than I have. I wanted to pause here real quick though. New trait, Energy Mogul. This is on Buffkin. Hold on. Energy Mogul. As a planetary or sector governor, you get bonuses to energy. Okay, that's cool. They're a fleet commander. Could we make them a planetary governor at wherever our energy world is? Can Buffkin have another job? Hold on, let's go to leaders. Sort by commanders. No orders. It doesn't look like he can do anything else while he's commanding, I guess. Yeah. All he can do is be in command of that? No, because Rudnick could be the Minister of Defense and run the Belt Manglers. Not exactly sure how that works. Hold on. So I want to get Buffkin potentially... Oh, let's just make sure he wouldn't hurt our job output. He wouldn't. Here it's specialist jobs, but not workers. He improves workers. We want him. We want Buffkin at... Onto our energy world right there. Right? So currently Silzen Lobinrix isn't doing so much. She's helping with building speed, infrastructure upkeep, and food. Okay, that's a complete waste. Let's take him out. Can we get him in there? Yes. That should help our energy a lot. 720 energy. That's not bad. Did that pull him out of being the fleet commander, though? I think it did. Let's jump back into leaders. Let's go to our commanders. Yeah. Yeah, he can only either be the governor, but he can't be the fleet commander. But for some reason, Ridug can be the Minister of Defense and be in command of the Beltmaker. So, what are you going to do? I find that slightly surprising. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, he could only do one or the other. No big deal. I'm always slightly confused about the leaders that can have one role versus two roles. I'm sure it's a simple rule. It's never clear in my mind. I'm always conflating governorships and roles on the council and their actual jobs on a ship. You know, because being on a ship means you're physically away. But I guess the council jobs don't count that way because you can give your commands and advice on the council without physically being present. That must be the logic. So you can be the sector governor as the empress of the entire. So you can be the ruler on the council and you can govern a sector or something because you're not physically there. You can be the Minister of Defense and command a fleet. So I think that must be what it works on. You can be the head of research on the council and be on a science ship doing your job. Yeah. But you can't command a planet, be the governor, and command a fleet because your physical presence is required. That doesn't exactly make sense. It's fine. It's fine. We don't have to overthink it. Okay, so a couple things going on. Our energy is looking fantastic. Our trade is getting buried. We are hosing up on trade pretty hard right now. Couple things. Kornagi, let's get that capital upgrade going right away. And then I don't think we have an actual trade world anywhere. We'll just cycle through really quickly. Mining, forge, ecclesiastical factory, ecclesiastical agri, ecclesiastical forge. Yeah. Maybe one of these, let's just look at our trade. Which world has the most trade? I mean, obviously, our empire capital's at 59, 673. Good amount of trade there coming out of Elysia. 71 on Wegmore. We don't really need trade buildings. I would say that's not necessary. We could just adjust what we're buying and selling. Sure. I don't understand exactly why our trade has jumped so, or is in the dumps so badly though. Why are we in negative 72 trade? What's going on with that? The consumption is going a little bit into ships, a huge amount into our planetary deficits, and a huge amount into jobs. So I'm guessing the support eats that up. Yeah, so every time we make a support district, whether it's for farming, mining, or energy districts, it increases the upkeep for that worker job by a little over half a trade. In this case, each 100 farmers costs 0.67 trade. So when you switch on to farming support, that is a total of 1.32 trade per farmer, and you're on a world like Troydom here that has 1,200 farmers. Well, that's just 12 additional trade. It doesn't seem like we should be that buried though, right? Like so this is an extra like 13, 14, 15 trade for these 1,200 farmers because of the 2 support districts. I guess it's just adding up everywhere. Let's jump back into our market. What's going on with our market? We can stop buying consumer goods. We've got that handled, so let's remove that. And the only things we're buying are the 1 living metal, the 1 Zro, and the 1 dark matter. Otherwise, we're selling... Oh, no, we're buying energy. Let's get rid of that. Cancel and remove that. Okay. Let's run the clock and see if that adjusts us a little bit. It should get us closer. Yeah. Oh, we're still negative. Yeah, I don't really know what hit us so hard on that. Obviously we've been developing our colony, so it is what it is. Yeah, we want to load up more of this stuff though. I'm going to get a couple more city districts here. Elysia. Let's upgrade that and get a couple more districts there. Castor. Yeah. Building city districts is kind of where we're falling into all this. Yeah, do a couple more. Couple more. I know this is sort of boring. It's probably been boring for a long time. And actually, let's get a couple more temples. Throw some temples in there, folks. There you go. Just load it up. Get those buildings going. Farming here. This is maxed out. Troydom was a very small colony. That's why this got so tight so fast. But it's the smallest colony, and it's producing a good amount of food. What else we got going on here? Sure, let's get a bunch of temples in there. A couple of city districts. We're just sort of going ham at this point. We need to specialize this. Sure, let's get this specialized as heavy industry. Where are you at? Right there. And a couple more city districts. And can we do an Autochthon monument? Sure. Yeah. We don't really need it, but let's get a spiritual enclave speciality here. Or do we do a commercial nexus? Would that help us? Get us some more trader jobs per se. Let's throw one of those in there because we don't actually need that much unity. You can see we're up to 155,000 unity again already. And there we go. And what else do we got? Forge World. Let's get this specialization done right there and build a couple city districts. And let's get a Autochthon monument. We can always rip those out later. We're actually getting pretty tight on our minerals here, so we got to be a little careful. No, we're back around. We're done. However, we can do more ascensions. Let's jump into management really quickly. And let's, again, we want to focus on our larger colonies before our smaller colonies. We'll just pop these up. What is this costing us right now? 34K unity. That's it. we burned all of our Unity, but yeah, we're going to ascend all of our colonies here. We're just running along. We're at an hour. Oh, I want to finish this. Do I just play for 2 hours straight here?
Ships upgraded.
Ship upgrades done.
Upgraded.
Yeah, we're still really hurting on our monthly trades. Research done. Let's pause there. Let's take a look at our market. What can we sell more of? Good lord. We're selling food. We don't really want to sell minerals. We're still doing a lot of building. Let's sell some energy, I guess. Yeah, we got tons of energy. It's getting a little ridiculous on the energy. Push that up to 50. So we'll sell 50 food. We'll sell 50 energy. That should take care of our energy needs, I hope. And let's look at this research. Subterranean colonization. Fantastic. Many planets exhibit extensive subsurface voids. Subterranean exploration, exploitation, and construction techniques can greatly increase the habitable areas of some worlds. Okay. What else do we want here? Off-road trading. That is a star-based building that would give you trade for each trade hub. We don't mess with that too much. Planetary infrastructure costs, minus 10%. Build speed, development speed, max habitable districts. Oh. That's not bad. An extra district on all of our colonies. I do like that. Or, for a similar research cost, 2 extra star bases. 9 to 11. They're both good. Honestly, though, I think the star base is a little better. And in particular, it'd give us something to spend some alloy on, because we got tons of alloy. Let's do it. And then, also, are we selling alloy? Yeah. I don't want to. We got to be careful about how much we sell, though. We don't want to drive the cost down too much, but let's push this to 10. Just because we have so much stinking alloy. Run the clock. There we go. We got our trade positive again. So we're producing a huge amount of energy. We will need that, though, because, again, we're flushing out our colonies at this point. We're getting all those civilians into jobs, and he's kind of mobilizing the whole population. You can see our trade has plummeted again. And there was a downvote going on. Hold on, what's going on? Up next, Senate's in session for another year and a half. The vote they're going to work on next will be the Guardian Angel Act. Diplomatic weight from fleet power, minus 20. I don't want them to even vote on that. What about greater than ourselves? Effect. Unlocks an edict. Oh, we have an edict. Forgot about it. That encourages the free unemployed pops to voluntarily resettle themselves to suitable planets with jobs and housing within our empire. Basic subsistence and stratified economy living standards are banned. Chatterley slavery, livestock, and grid amalgamation slavery types are banned. Diplomatic weight from pops plus 50, worker happiness plus 5%. Yes, we want this. I want this. So support it. That'll push it up. Hopefully, that'll become our next agenda topic. That being said, it gives us more edicts. We love edicts, so that's any edict. But we forgot that we'd gained an edict. My nose is... I have to pause to blow my nose. I'm getting a runny nose. But terraforming gases, exotic fuels. Where the heck was that? Did we improve an edict? Is that what happened? If you recall, there was it was like a galactic network thing or something. And it was going to cost more exotic gases. I don't see it here. That's weird. I'm not sure which edict that was an improvement of. We have everything turned on, which is great. I mean, it's been a fun way to play the game, actually. Okay. I'm just so surprised. I'm going to jump back to technology. Go to research. Network dominance. The relay network can be used to more effectively impose our will over our colonies. And the edict is called Network Dominance? Empire Edicts, an empire-wide modifier that can be activated or deactivated by spending unity. Okay. Hyper Relay Network Effects, stability plus 3. Exotic gas upkeep for hyper relays plus 0.1. I guess the problem is I don't know what a effing hyper relay network is. I just don't know It's not an edict. Why was I saying it's an edict? Oh my god, I'm hallucinating. I'm sorry, I'm saying it's an edict because right there says the word unlocks edict. Network dominance. Okay. I'm feeling a little crazy. Government. Edicts. Network dominance. There must be a technology that we have not invented. Yes. Okay. So sorry. So the issue is that network dominance is through the hyper relay network, hyper relay technology, which we don't have. So that's why I'm not seeing the edict that I could turn on to improve the quality of our hyper relay networks effect, stability +3. There you go. That answers that question. It's an edict that affects a technology we never got, I think, is what's going on there, unfortunately. But yeah, if we can get this on to pass on the Senate floor here, we could gain access to a new edict, which I would like, called what? Greater than ourselves, I think is what the edict is called. It doesn't really say. It unlocks an edict that encourages free things. Yeah, is that called greater than ourselves? I don't know. We'll find out. Another favor gained. I'm just gonna watch this as the Senate floor comes through. We should see this pop into here. Our trade is getting hammered. I don't really know how to fix it. Interestingly, our energy is through the roof right now. Maybe what's happening is, I do know what's happening. Gosh darn it. Hold on. I do know what's happening. Hold the thought. Right there. Pause. Okay. So, I never actually watched the Senate go into session, but it did grab the top one, greater than ourselves, which we support, brought it in. It looks like this will pass easily with our influence. I don't. The Earthens are abstaining, so it'll probably pass. That's cool. Okay, so we'll close that down. Before I lose, we're going to get into the salacious affair here. But what's happening? Why has our trade been plummeting? Our trade has been plummeting because we have been taking civilians and employing them. What do civilians do? They're not worthless. They make trade. They consume. They buy. So if we go to Fula, get this out of here, jump over here. Our civilians, we have 1,000 unemployed civilians. Most of our colonies have 500 to 1,000 to 1,500 civilians. We have been building districts. We've been building buildings and employing hundreds, thousands of our civilians have become employed. What do civilians do? We'll go to economy. We'll roll down to civilians. What do civilians make? Produce, unity, and trade. They consume food and consumer goods. And they take amenities. They modify amenities. I don't think they can take them. But yeah. So that's what is happening. Your civilians aren't useless. They do convert food and consumer goods into unity, trade, and amenities. They do make amenities. Oh, interesting. They're the barbers. We talked about, having a place to get your hair cut or having a nice park. Those are amenities. So that explains why our trade's getting hammered, because we're pulling so many civilians out of civilianhood and putting them into our jobs. So it's a straight trade-off. What that tells me is, with around 10 colonies at this stage of the mid-game, with the populations we're hitting, you have to consider specifically making trader jobs, possibly having a dedicated trader colony. You can offset trade. One reason why I'm not interested in making a colony that's specifically dedicated to trade is because you can always offset trade by what you're buying and by what you're selling, but you can only sell so much. In this case, we could sell some consumer goods, right? So we could jump into here. Let's see how far we could take this. Let's push in here and we're going to sell 10 consumer goods. We're selling 10 alloys. We're selling 50 food. We're selling 50 energy. Let's sell 50 minerals. Sure. I'm just trying to logically see how far we can take this. There we go. We're buying very little, and we're selling a lot. Let's watch what happens. We're still at -5. So I'm trying to demonstrate the limitation on how much you can sell to offset. We could do a little bit more here with some of our additional exotic gases and rare crystals. We have a big surplus. Volatile motes, not so much. But exotic gases were already to 3. Let's go to our rare crystals. Sorry. Sell. We have 2 sell orders? What? Let's pull that out of there. Cancel remove that. Oh, that's weird. I didn't realize you could do that. But we are. I guess maybe you could have a min-max for buy and another can be free. Meaning that when you create a new monthly effect, you can go to sell. You can come in here and put your max buy price, and one can have no max buy price. So you can do different holds or whatever. I'm not sure what the term is in trading is called, but yeah, whatever. Here we go. The rare crystals. Yeah, let's turn this up to 3. So yeah, we're kind of maxing. We're pushing that as far as we can get, but that's still going to keep dropping though as we keep building more and more districts and employing more and more people. So to fix it, yeah, you've got to specifically make training jobs. You got to put commercial buildings on some of your planets and generate trade. One of the things to bear in mind is we have quite a few ecclesiastical centers because of our love for unity. We could switch one of them out, get rid of all those temples and all those priests, and start making traders on one of our worlds. It may be worth that specialization. What do we got here? Infinite opportunities ready to launch. We'll launch it. What else is available? We come in peace. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do. Just leave it. I don't want to mess with that. Council slot available. We're not going to work on a council job until something else pops up. A salacious affair. The Fulu diplomatic corps has been shaken by the news emerging from the Confederacy of Ur-Itha. Our ambassador, Crazy Mary, who has been stationed there, has gotten herself into a serious mess with Ur-Ithan law enforcement. She is currently in connection with a salacious affair involving an astonishing range of serious crimes that culminated in a brutal double murder. As matters stand, and with rumors running wild among the Ur-Ithians, there seems little doubt that Crazy Mary is guilty. The Ur-Ithian authorities have requested that her diplomatic immunity be lifted so that she can face justice for her deeds. Lift the immunity. Crazy Mary is removed from our recruitable leaders, and it costs us 30 influence, which we can afford, and recall Crazy Mary for her own protection. Confederacy of Ur-Itha opinion of Principality of Food changes by 150. Now we're going to recall her. I don't want to lose her as a leader personally, so Charmer 2 trait for Plunder and Morgan, very cool. Trade still effed. So at this stage of the game, what's our least developed ecclesiastical? Probably Aya Free right here. Yeah, it's just sort of a baby colony. We haven't done too much. Let's switch out the spiritual enclave with only 1 temple to a commercial nexus. So we'll make that change out right here. Boom. Yes. And then in our commercial buildings, we're going to go to trade. Trade? There you go. Commercial zones. We'll load that up. A couple more city districts. That right there should help with our trade issues and get that moving in the right direction. Oh, and we actually need to change out the specialization to what? Is there a trade option? What the hell is it? Urban World? Yeah, there you go. Urban World is your trade one. Trade jobs, trade from jobs, plus 20 into plus 5. Cool. City district build speed is plus 25%. All right, we got a lot of stuff going on here, folks. Research finished. It was quantum field manipulation, so our technicians produce 20% more. Energy from Starbase, meaning our solar panels, plus 10. And the planetary nexus building is available. Very nice. We need to choose a new research then for physics. Experimental subspace navigation? Yes. The solitary science ships can break out of the natural occurring hyperlanes and attempt to navigate to known but otherwise unreachable destinations. We may play long enough to get this experiments popped off. We're going to grab that just because I want to see if we can send the Atalante through and do Zabrian space and then jump into that spot. I'd like to see if we could do that. What else do we have? We have another research available here. Civilian replicators are ready to go. That's going to give us a lot more artisan jobs. It also unlocks the distribution center, which is the building that yields plus 15% job efficiency from all artisans. So you put one of those buildings on all of your factory worlds. And orbital ring building. I'm not going to read that. Choose a new research real quickly, though. Star Fortress, I am interested in. We've got a couple of cool, rare things. Yeah, modular engineering for starbase building cost minus 25%. Starbase module cost minus 25%. It's not bad. We don't need it. I would rather have Star Fortresses. We're going to work on Star Fortresses. It's going to take us an extremely long time. What else is happening? Vote for Federation law. This diplomatic proposal will be automatically declined. Oh, that's what happens. Let's jump in here. We want to pay attention to what's going on with our Federation. The Talacuran are attempting to vote to propose change to high fleet contribution. They want to say yes? I don't really care. Sure, we'll vote yes. I'm sure we could overrule them, but I don't really care. And then the Space Friends Club voted to change it. It passed immediately. So that was what's going on, is that Federation changes you don't vote on automatically pass. Okay, cool. New trait for Sail and Mary, Galactic Reforms level 2. And that's it. Otherwise, Space Age. The alien civilization on Monzu Forest finished construction of its first interplanetary vessel in orbit of their homeworld. For better or worse, these aliens are now ready to join the galactic community and must be counted among the galaxy's current spacefaring races. It was only a matter of time. Now, this is at Monzoon. Boom. There they are. That's in our space. Incoming transmission. Where on Earth is Monzoon, folks? We may lose a system to these guys, potentially. Right here. Hello again. We are now freely ready to explore the cosmos and wish to do so on our own. We can't help taking note of your very permanent-looking starbase orbiting our star. We understand that this starbase represents some hypothetical claim on the system. We ask only that you relinquish this hold on our space, ceding the starbase to the beings who have called Monzoon home since time immemorial. It is only just. How should we respond? This is a big one, folks. Now, if you recall, about a decade ago, we could have just let them annihilate themselves with nuclear annihilation. We didn't. Therefore, their planet is ours. Maybe not. How should we respond? Of course, it is only just. Cede the Monzoon starbase to the Etherean Society. If we see the starbase, we see the entire system and the resources there, folks. We lose the little pre-FTL civilization outpost that's yielding unity, or like society research. Yeah, society research. It's all gone. We lose the system, and it cuts off these other systems from the rest of our space. It's a real issue, potentially. Now, they're never really going to grow at this point. We could close borders to them, thus isolating them in that system forever. What do we get for it? Well, we get a new alien civilization to play with. Potentially to invite into the Space Friends Club. What we'd want to watch out for is they're xenophobic, not xenophile. They are spiritualist. Are they inward perfectionists? Right? Idyllic agrarian or whatever may prevent them from joining federations. If they're completely inward turning, I wouldn't want them in the galactic community. I want people in the galactic community that we can do stuff with. A laughable demand from an immature civilization. Keep control of Monzoon starbase. Border disrespected. Etherean society will hold a lower opinion of the Principality of Fulu. So the nice thing to do would be to let them go to the stars. Close the borders for certain, because we don't want them to explore. But It wouldn't really hurt us at this point. What do we gain? This is a tough one. Is spiritualist pacifists? I think we would definitely open the borders to them. I don't think we're going to get a lot for it. But at this point of the game, I don't really care. Let's do it. If we laugh at them at their demand, nothing changes. So we might as well just say, do it. There you go. Boom. All right. Shit's going to happen here. What do we got? Let's, I guess, leave our fleets there. I don't know if they're going to try and chase our fleets out. The Free Pearl's sitting there right now. We'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. Here we go. They want to establish an embassy. Yes. I had a lot of trouble saying that. Technology. Starbase cap +2. New research. Cool. Let's do that. And what else do we want? Blockers. We'll have that in a short amount of time. Run that clock. But yeah, we have 2 more starbases we can throw in now. Let's improve them at our colonies. I want to build starbases where we have colony worlds so that we can improve the transit of our people between the different worlds. Let's go to Ira Free here as well. There you go. 2 of them we're going to build up. All-knowing trait. Resolution's been passed greater than ourselves. Oh, shit. I didn't pay attention to that. Hold on. It was the one we wanted. Yes, greater than ourselves. Resolutions. Greater than ourselves. Greater than ourselves. Yeah. Diplomatic rate from Pops +60. That's huge. It's currently active. I like that. And I see a couple other pieces on the agenda here. Repeal Tithe of the Soulless. No, we're going to oppose that. We don't want that to ever happen. Here. Oppose the repeal. Right to work. Diplomatic weight from tech -60. Yes. We do want that. Spiritualist ethics attraction +30. Unity from jobs +15. And roboticist upkeep ever increasing. We do want to support that. We're going to push that to the top. I don't know who's proposing that. We aren't proposing it. Someone else must also be fanatic spiritualists and they hate robots like us. So yeah, it's in recess for 2 more years, the Senate, but we're gonna bury these stupid techno morons. We're gonna punish them for having technology. We hate the technology. Now, I noticed our naval cap's kicked over. I don't like that, but we should be able to fix that by squeezing a couple of anchorages on our new star bases when they're ready. There you go. Greater than ourselves. Alongside the rights enshrined in recent galactic community resolutions, we ask additional responsibilities of our workers. We can now encourage unemployed workers to voluntarily resettle to other worlds we control that have available housing, jobs, and are of adequate habitability. Excellent. Edict unlock greater than ourselves. Let's jump up here to government. Here we go. And down at the bottom? No. Where's she at? Greater than ourselves. Obviously, we have the headroom because we're badass like that. But what's that going to do? Automatic resettlement chance +200%. Yeah, our people can just freely, quickly relocate everywhere, which we've kind of already seen. But yeah, we'll turn that on. We turned everything on. And available council agenda. We come in peace. No. We're not going to do that. We'll never do that because we don't want the naval cap. Does it give us anything else? Why would you ever do I come in peace? Border friction is reduced by a lot. Trust cap, it's not bad. Naval cap would get hit. Now, if we turn that on, it's going to bury us on our naval cap. And it really increases the upkeep cost of our fleet. So we could do it, but we could survive it because we have so much energy. I just don't want to mess with it. Resolution's been passed greater than ourselves. And we just did that? That wasn't just now. No, Senate's still in research. Recess. Here we go. The return. Long-range scans picked up an approaching vessel near Fula. As it moved closer, it became clear that the ship's designation matches our own from a century ago. Literally, in the game, 100 years ago. After opening comms, we discovered the ship was piloted by Golden Rackham, the scientist who was detached from the time stream by a blue energy orb. Yeah, that happened. This is an event we let them go off and explore creation or whatever. He rambled about colliding neutron stars in inverse space-time gravitational wells before taking the ship back into the dark. Remarkably, our physicists have confirmed that much of this information is not only verifiable, but indeed groundbreaking. Golden Rackham appeared physically unchanged by the passage of time, but even our current technology could not explain the functionality of the orb. Barring their own fatal destruction, he will continue to explore the universe until the end of time. Fascinating, Captain. Research gained 6,300 physics research. How much is that? Oh, that's a lot. We only produce 131 a month, so that's way more than a year's worth. That is, let's see, a year's worth would be 10 times 3, about 1,500 would be a year's worth of physics research, so we gained over 4 years of physics research. Cool. I'll take it. Let's jump into our technology. That should bump that up. That's surplus, right? So yeah, that will be very good. We have a big surplus in our piggy bank here of physics research. Stored 5,500. That's nice. Yeah. Okay, we got shit happening here, folks. Leader retired. Arch-prophetess Ivory Morgan is retired after 86 years. The new heir, High Priestess Merciful Morgan, is the new heir to the Empire. Let's take a look at them. That's just a new leader that just got popped in there. So let's go to our leaders real quick. It'll be under officials, I think. Plunder and Morgan is the current imperial ruler. May they rule long. How old are they? They're 74. Our leaders live for a pretty long time, though. They actually have some decent effects here. As a counselor, they had diplomatic agreement influence upkeep is minus 20%. Council agenda speed plus 10%. Stability plus 2. Colony ship development speed, yeah, I mean, they're well suited for it. Some of those aren't that useful, but they have 4 effects that are for a counselor position. One of them is at level 2, so that's really good. And then, but yeah, where is our new heir apparent? Who's the heir apparent? Should be a crown right here. Merciful Morgan came in as a level 2 leader. They have a spark of genius, and they're the heir. And let's jump into our government and Minister of State. So current head of research is Zyber, who has Spark of Genius level 2. So that's good. In general, they're well suited. These are all level 5. Who do we want to be the Minister of State, though? We come in here. We have 2 officials that are both level 3. We have Ivory Lawrence and Salin Mary. So Unchained Knowledge, that's only if they're an emissary in the galactic community. Otherwise, galactic reforms. None of these are counselor positions. Can we hire a new official? We have room to hire up to 2 new officials. Let's look at everyone who's recruitable, either internally or externally. See if anyone has special skills that would lend themselves to being the Minister of State. Leader lifespan plus 20. Galactic community. This is way too many galactic community effects, for my opinion. You can only have 1 leader on the galactic representing you in the galactic community. So I don't need 8 leaders with galactic community traits. It's kind of annoying to me personally, but here we go. Colony ships. Emissary effects. Okay. That would be emissary within the Federation. Is that, no, those are delegates. What is an emissary? What am I missing here? Was that this little symbol, the blue house with the laurel wreath? Voting strength on political traditions, plus 15%. Yeah, that is just another galactic community thing. Okay, care about that. Leader lifespan, leader experience gain, and more galactic community stuff. None of these officials have any position, have anything that would help us as the head of state. That's annoying. It kind of feels like as you get to the mid game or whatever, all those new traits that your leaders are getting are like broken, unless we don't look at officials. What if, shoot, I don't think we can make a scientist or a commander head of state. We know that because when we come into here, we click on this, it only offers us officials. So yeah, that's broken as shit. None of these officials have any special gifts that relate to counselor positions. Out of 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, out of 7 total officials that we have access to, none of them have a useful counselor position. We have one ability there, which is Frontier Spirit, which no longer is important to us because we're no longer expanding and building colony ships. That sucks. That like is like legitimately broken. So fix it. Paradox. Why? Why is this? I'm falling through space here. Why? I don't know. Listen. In 82 days, we will get new leaders. Let's run the clock. Let's see if this will fix. Let's see if we can fix this. Wait. While that's going on, we got a couple new shipyards. So here we go. And we know we want to fix that up real quickly. So just very simply, we will throw in 2 anchorages. Boom, boom. That should get us 8 total naval cap, which will fix that up. What else do we want here? I don't need food, that's for sure. Crew quarters. No, they don't have any. Is there transit hub? Yes, we wanted to put transit hubs in around these worlds, and we'll upgrade them again on the Starhold. The other one really quickly, what can we do here? Let's look at our building first. Same thing, transit hub, just to help with migration. Our automatic resettlement chance must be at 500% now, so it's probably overkill, but it's fine. Anything useful? Do we need energy? Do we need trade? Our trade got fixed hardcore. I guess we could throw in some more anchorages. Sure. And we'll upgrade to the Starhold as well. Got that taken care of. Otherwise, we were looking at... well, nothing. We're looking at our leaders here. Waiting for new recruitables to pop around. Let's go into our officials tab. So, there we go. We're going to pause that. And who do we have? I'm looking for counselor positions. No. Stability +2. There you go. It's a level 1 leader, but as they grow at age 30, they're cheap and they will provide more and more stability, potentially. And they can get a lot of new traits as they grow. Going from level 1 up, they'll get more traits. So out of this new batch of 5, Lop Quatica is our person because they're going to actually give us a useful counselor trait. We're going to hire them. Yes, there you go. And then we're going to jump into our government tab. We're going to go to our Minister of State, and we will assign this new green leader. Boom. You have a job. Talacurans make up... well, our council is actually made up of 3 different species. That's kind of cool. What else is going on here, folks? New leader required. Member join the galactic community. High Kingdom Monsoon 4 has joined the galactic community. Very cool. Council agenda available. No, we've been looking at that. Yeah, we're leaving that sitting. So, a couple things. Let's jump down here. Looking at Monsoon. Yeah, this is their little world. Very cool. Let's go to contacts. And where are they? They have a pretty good opinion of us. Wow. That's cool. Yeah, they in general, they like us. Let's do some relations with them really quickly. Improve relations. Do we have available? Yeah, Crazy Mary can jump in there. She'll improve relations. Build a spy network. We don't need that. Trade deal. Recall embassy. Declare war. Make claims. Declare rivalry. A lot of options. We're going to leave the borders open to them to go explore. What the hell? Let's just start clicking these off. Requires positive relations or trust 20. All of these we can't do just yet. Well, listen, we're going to improve relations. The borders are open. We have an embassy, so we've done all the basic steps. So we just have to, in order to access this, we need to get Relations or trust up. So trust is building because they're brand new. So, but it is moving in a positive direction. Their trust of us changed by 0.14 each month. Okay, so it'll build up naturally. Cool. And in general, they're friendly. And if we jump back to the main board here, we're looking at this saying relations neutral. They're not changing particularly, but trust will grow. Okay, and then this is interesting, folks. The Free Estuanians are hating us. They're nearly neutral. I never thought it would happen. I mean, that was at like a negative 1,000, right? At one point, they hated us. Are we about to potentially... Oh, they're Democratic Crusaders now? Did they used to be like authoritarian scum? They're militarists. They're egalitarian. They must have switched away from authoritarianism. I think they were authoritarian or xenophobic or something. They are way less adverse to us now. So in fact, the whole galaxy may be in a positive level to each other. I would like to add more people to the Space Friends Club, including the High Kingdom of Monsoon 4. So we'll see how that goes. But let's go to the Free Estuanian. Go to diplomacy. Trust is 0. There's the base decay. Improve relations? We have Castaway Hendrick is working on that. We have Drowned Liang working on that. We have Rig Gab working on it. So 3 of our... Oh, and these 4 of our envoys are working on improving relations with them. Is there anything else we can do? Arm, declare, offer trade deal, open borders, establish embassy. We never did that? Confirm. Okay, that should help. Should we open borders to them? Let's do it. Remember, they're pathetic related to us. So if we jump back over to the contacts, we look at the Free Estuanians. Fleet power's equivalent. We're not that inferior. Geez. They're not pathetic. But that's going to do it here. Run this clock forward here, folks. There we go. They went positive 2. Finally. Holy shoot. Finally. What's going on here? Borders open. Diplomatic communications with Free Estuanians. Very cool. Embassy established. Very cool. And now, what? Everyone's in the positive. Cassius Belli. You know what's interesting is we've never claimed any of their territories. We've never made claims on their territory. So why they hate us? They have claims on our territory. That must be what it is. Is over time they've made many claims on territory we have, like Ditchram and all that. I don't know if there's a way to make that go away. I don't know if that would ever change. But what else can we do with them now? Are any of these available yet? No, we still got to get that trust to 20. Okay. Those borders offer trade deal harm. Yeah, we'll just let it run. We'll just watch it. We'll just watch it here. We'll see if this keeps moving in a positive direction. This is moving in a positive direction with the Kingdom of Monsoon 4. I saw that creeping up. We want to keep an eye on their... Can you see trust from here? No. You can't see it from there either. Yeah, you can't see trust from this page, which is fine. Let's jump into diplomacy real quick. Trust is at 4. Oh god, that grows so slowly. I'm going to pause real quick. In the Free Estuanians, let's jump to them. Eesh. Yeah, it's going to take a few years to get the trust to where we can do anything with them, but it's pretty cool. Technology available here. Blocker clears, very cool. We can grab some naval cap. Do more blocker stuff. Let's grab... I don't think we're ever going to get there. We'll just grab a blocker. There you go, folks. Senate now in session. We are going to be voting on minor administrative sanctions. Empires that have been denounced are in breach of galactic law. I don't want that on the floor right now. Oh, dude. Sorry, they supplanted the right to work. So someone came in and messed that up for us. Unfortunately, now that it's on the floor, there's nothing I can do about it, but I do want to vote against it. Oppose? Yeah. I don't really care for that at all. So with us backing it up, it should pull it out of there. It should fail. Oh, no. That's very close, because the Kendo Gen must have a leader that's giving them a 200% or 300% multiplier on that, obviously. Now, we could call in favors, push it the other way. Do we want to do that? Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Run that up a little bit. Call in favors. And we still didn't get it set. I'm calling in all the favors. Ooh, it's going to be tight. It really is going to depend on what the Earthens do. They can push it either way. So we'll let that resolve. Just want to roll up here real quickly. Check on our colonies. Yeah, still working on this here. I'm going to push the planetary capital to the top. You always want to improve those planetary buildings if possible. We're very rapidly running in on the... we'll just run it to 2 hours here, folks. This is going to be the last episode. But yeah, let's improve some buildings. Push through. More. I got research complete there. Speculative hyperlane breaching. Solitary science ships can break out of the naturally occurring hyperlanes. Yeah. We are going to do that experiment. I think that would be fun to do with some of the time we have left. Let's grab encryption +2. Sure. It opens up new avenues.
Council agenda available.
I'll pause it real quick. We're just gonna go ham here. We're gonna fill everything up with the time we have left. Well, actually, we're not. We don't have nearly enough minerals to do that. Where's our mining world? Right here. Yeah. We never got mineral purification done. We're bad. This will help with our minerals, though. This will help getting the city districts done. And let's jump into our market, and let's go to here. Not here. Let's go to our minerals, and we're going to cancel the sell, and we're going to do a buy. We're going to buy some minerals, and... oh, that's probably way too much. There we go. We should be able to afford that with that much trade that we have. Add, edit. Run that forward. New agenda available. Here we go. Evolving society for more unity. We'll get them working on that. I don't know that we'll ever complete it. But, yeah. So we've developed things pretty much as quick as we can. But you would imagine in just another decade or two, we could probably max out all of our colonies. We have enough overhead to do that. I see we have some space amoebas skulking about. Let's, no, we don't have our fleet to send over. Ooh, a lot of space amoebas. Nasty. Upgrading our strongholds here. Yeah, what do we want to do? We're going to throw in some more anchorages. If we have to. Hydroponics bay? I think it would hurt. Listening post? Not really necessary. Crew quarters? No. Resource silo. There you go.
Complete.
Got research popping off. And what was our other station? Right there. No, they're upgraded. They're upgraded. Here we go. Let's do a couple more anchorages as well. And the hydroponics bay. Yeah. Food is actually getting tight. It's not just tight, it's into the negative. What the hell's happening? Why did our food just die so hard? Leader retired. Oh, I bet Silzin was providing a bonus to food production on our agriculture world, if I had to guess. Technology research, encryption 2. That was super simple. Planetary shield generator. Yeah, we'll get subspace sensors. What the heck? It ain't gonna matter now. And why did our food get so effed up? We can jump to trade them. We lost our leader. Who would be a suitable leader right now? Ruddig here. Does anyone have any food-related stuff? Nah, not really. But Ruddig would get our workers to be more efficient by improving output by 6% total. Yeah, let's do that. Ruddig is now the planetary leader. Yeah, food's not that great. We can't really get more food going. No, we need more farmers. It's fine. Here's what we can do to fix that. We jump into our market, come down to our food, stop selling, cancel that 50 sell. That'll push us positive again. We'll see how long that lasts for. Trade is getting tight, but it's suitable for where it's at. We unlock more blockers cleared. At this point, let's go for the agricultural thing because we're running into it. Now is the time to improve our farms. We've got one farming capital, but because our populations are booming, we are just straight up running out of food. So now we're going to take some farming technology, see if we can improve that a little bit. Game is running down here. What else is there to do? Oh, you know what we have? Blockers to clear. Let's jump in real quick. Go to management, scroll that up to the top, and we're just going to cycle through. You can see we've been getting blocker clearing technology. It takes energy, so you got to be a little bit careful, but we have 43k, so more than enough energy to clear all these blockers. We'll just cycle through. Boom, boom. Dangerous wildlife looks like it's one of the few blockers we have left. We're clearing dense jungle, quicksand basins getting cleared out. And that should be everyone. Back to, yeah. All right, that's all of our colonies. Now, let's jump into our governments tab. Go to edicts. Let's jump down here to volatile land clearance. Clear blocker cost minus 25%. Clear blocker speed plus 25. Probably should have turned this on before I spent the cost on the energy. But it will at least speed up the blocker clearing at this point. We're going to run that forward. And that will free up districts on some of our planets. Possibly Troitum Prime, which is our agri world, may gain extra farming districts. Yes, right there. That means that we can now build another farming district, which will help push our food up again. So that actually helped us out slightly. It was good. Anything else going on here? Looks like our current batch of star bases have improved as far as they're going to go. Yeah. We're still working on the Star Fortress technology. I don't know if we'll get it before the game is over. Let's just jump in here. Yeah, we're not going to. That's 10 years out. We're not going to get it. Resolution has failed. Oh, excellent. That was perfect. We actually did very much want that to fail, if you recall. So hopefully calling in our favors helped get that done. Otherwise, what's up next? Minor economic sanctions. Empires that have been denounced or breach black laws. Market fees plus 10%. I care about that the slightest. Right to work. I want this to go forward. So actually, let's vote this down. Let's oppose this because we want this to move forward here, if possible, into the Senate floor. Favors gained. Oh, damn it. What are these guys doing? Why can I not oppose this properly? They're going to adopt this resolution. I don't want them to work on it. I see that. Why is it oppose? Everyone's opposing it. Okay. What if we support it? No. Oh my gosh. Someone here has a massive amount of power. The Kendogens? Is there a way to see who's supporting this and who isn't supporting this? I'm not really following how to spot that right now. Resolutions. Abstain. Can I call in more favors on this? I think I've used... Let's see. There we go. Ah, oh, dang it. It's no big deal. I just really want that to... Any more favors to call in? No. I don't know how to stop it. Dang it. It is what it is, folks. I really wanted the right to work to go forward and just punish those technocrats. They're so smart and brainy. They think they're so damn smart. I hate them. What else do we got going on? Senate now in session. Yeah. Here we go. This is going to come up for a vote. We're opposing it. It will fail. I don't know how it ever got through. Well, no, it's because the gosh darn Kendogen used all their diplomatic weight to push it through. That sucks. One of these days, we would have gotten the right to work pushed through. Because all of us spiritualists pulled together. Just watching the months roll by. Let's see. Technology is working. Got some cool technologies. The gene crop stuff will pop off here. But that would like permanently fix our food issues for the most part. We got some minerals saved up. Yeah, can we throw out some more districts here? Build a mining district, build some city districts. Let's just push all these through here. There you go. Energy district, sure, and a couple generator districts. We're earning tons of favors. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Bunch of city districts. Just spending away. Temples. They're maxed out. Oh my gosh, there's so much we can do here. Holy cows, that's impressive actually. Upgrade the Autochthon Monument. We'll build some more districts. That's pretty much all of our energy. So, yeah. We crushed through there. Trade is getting hammered. We would actually want to go to our urban world and build some more commercial zones just to help take care of that trade. What's that last technology we had? Game's pretty much over here, folks. We got the farming going, which would have unlocked the Edict Nutritional Plenitude. It's our final act. Well, hold on. Let's choose our new technology real quick, which will be the Collective Self. Boom. There you go. And then final act is go to Governor's tab, go to Edicts. Where is it at? Nutritional Plenitude. Pop growth speed plus 10%. Biological happiness plus 5%. Pop food upkeep. Mineral upkeep. Alloy upkeep. A lot. Can we do it? I don't know. But we won't ever have to pay the consequences because this is it. We're about to end the game. Well, anyone who's been with me for the last year, I hope you had fun. I know it was probably a little boring at some point. I think we really stopped educating after about maybe the 10th episode, but I feel like I learned a lot. I dug into a lot of tabs, and I appreciate anyone who took the time to be with me. I don't know what comes next. I don't know that I'm going to keep doing YouTube. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Gosh, I've been doing YouTube off and on for maybe 5 years. I've run a few different little channels. But just other stuff going on in my life. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I'll be back with Slay the Spire too. I don't know. I'm loving the game. I'm playing it like every day since it dropped. Does the world need another Slay the Spire 2 player on YouTube? I don't know. I'm just enjoying the game enough to where I don't really need to dig into it that much. I don't know it that well. And the great thing about Slay the Spire 2 right now is that I've only probably seen half of what's there. There's a couple characters I've never even played. You know what I'm saying? Out of the 5. So we'll see. Here we go. Let's wrap the game. Who won? The Zabrian Protectors, of course, with a score of 60,000. Who was number 2? We were the Foolins with a score of 11,000. So we're playing on a pretty easy mode. Does it even tell us what mode we're playing on? I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, we did good. We were well ahead of the Urithans. It was an unusual game we played. It was unusual because as pacifists, we couldn't really interact with anyone else in a war capacity. We couldn't conquer anyone or fight any battles. And because we made a federation so early on with the very powerful Talacurans, no one dared to come against us, right? Even though the Urithans, who were quite powerful, were friendly with us, they might have gone to war with us at some point if they thought they could have gotten away with it. Certainly the Free Estuanians would have come at us, but once we made that federation with the Talacuran, we were just overwhelming to anyone else, and that kind of stalled the game out. But and the other thing we did that was very unusual is that we rejected technology almost completely. So it was just a special way to play that was just hopefully a little unusual. That's it though. Score, economy, very powerful, nearly as powerful as the Zabrians, surprisingly. Where did we really fall behind? Fleet power, yeah. And interestingly, the Urithans were crushing us on fleet power. The Talacurans, probably because of the Federation ships popped in there, the Kendojin, actually. So we were not the strongest with fleet power, but if you add us plus the Talacurans, that is essentially 60,000. Yeah, that made us pretty solid. And then finally on research, you can see that yes, in fact, we were pathetic on research, but you can see how powerful the Zabrians were. But yeah, only the little kingdom of Munzun there, brand new baby kingdom, barely existed for 10 years in our playthrough. I will warn everyone against what I did with the spirituality is by neglecting research, it would have hurt us more and more as the game progressed had we been playing a longer format game. We played to 150 years, but if we had played to 200, 250, or 300 years, this technology gap would have grown and grown, and we would have gotten annihilated. I really don't see a way we could have overcome it longer than we did with our very friendly pacifist spiritual, federation kind of thing. We would have had to have tried to invite in the Munzun 4 into the Federation. We would have had to try to get the Free Estuanians to join us, and then maybe seized permanent control of the Space Friends Club. If there's a way to do, maybe that would have been a way to survive a full 300-year game playthrough, because the technology was burying us. Now, at any point, we could have stopped ignoring technology. We could have made the choice as players to make scientists. Nothing was preventing us from doing that. We were just playing silly. So that's it, folks. 2-hour video. I'll stop there. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me over the last year, folks. Take care.